Buenos dias, Gunners Collective TV. Back at it, you already know, like a motherfucking trap addict. Bye, up, bye, up. Let's get straight to the intro. Welcome back to Gunners Collective TV. If you haven't already hit that like and subscribed button, make sure that you hit it, put your notification bell on all, so that way you're directing the direction of the dope content that the gun is kicking. And I highly appreciate the support, man. Thank you very much. I'm humbled. So I wanted to talk about Ese Dumper, right? AKA Suckafree 104, rest in peace. First and foremost, condolences to his homeboys, his barrio, his family, his loved ones, right? And everyone that supports him, that supported him then and continues to support him now. Man, his death has sparked a gang of controversy, not only on YouTube, in real life, right? I've heard stories ranging from, he got killed from tagging on a wall, till it was an ordered hit, to it was just something, an internal beef in his barrio. And whatever you want to take from it and whatever you want to believe, the fact is that there's a lot of people just assuming or making videos, putting extra details and extra information out there that they're not even really too sure of. Secondhand information. There's a lot of things going on. Ultimately, here's the facts. He's dead, right? And that leaves a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths, especially people that fucked with him. People that knew him personally, people that befriended him, people that did interviews with him, that really got to see the content of the man's character. You can never judge a man, period. And you can never talk about a man unless you really have met him and know his true character. See, this social media stuff will confuse you. It'll lie to you. It'll lie right in your face. You'll think someone's one certain way until you meet them, and you'll truly find out what they're really all about. So you can't assume nothing or make judgment calls without first interacting with the person and knowing what it is. So for all the people that are going in on Dumper, right? Going in on Suckafree 104 that never had a chance to sit down and converse with them, that's a bad look, man. That's a sucker look to be talking about Suckafree, right? The man passed away. He has family and friends that love him very much, I'm sure. And it probably hurts their heart to see all these videos being made on their loved one, especially the ones that are lying and blatantly disrespecting his honor and the man he was, by putting out false narratives. Now, there was a lot of content creators when this first happened. It was popular. So, of course, everyone's going to talk about it, myself included. Dubs, so many others did their own personal perspective on what they think could have happened and what did happen. Now, I've heard a lot of different stories, and I believe one story to be true, and I'm going to keep that to myself. See, I'm not into putting out extra details to help law enforcement. I'm not into manipulating the masses for views and trying to make my story be the breaking news story. At the end of the day, I'm going to respect that guy's get down, respect what he was about, and respect his neighborhood. Now, I did see one of his homeboys. See, first and foremost, let me rewind that a little bit. There was a couple of different versions of his death put out there. And initially, we all heard, man, he was hit by someone that, went viral, or not went viral, but went live. And someone pulled up and they got at him, right? And that's the initial story I ran with myself, because that's the story I had heard. And then later on, a certain content creator dropped the story that went in depth and detailed out the game, talking about prison gang members, prison organizations, and taxes, and all these certain things, right? Now, if that was the case, if there was truth to that, say there was truth, why would he do that? Why would he speak on that? But of course, man, the hunger and the thirst for the clout of social media and wanting to be the first to break a story sometimes is a motherfucker. Sometimes can make you do some things that necessarily in life, in real life, face to face, you would never, ever, ever do, right? But shit happens, to each their own. To every person has their lane, and everyone's going to speak on the information that they were personally given. Now, of course, as a man, there's certain things you should focus on and certain things you shouldn't, but it is what it is. Subsequently, since that video was put out and other videos that ran with that narrative, because there was a lot of people that got on me, nah, gun, you don't know what you're talking about. This is what happened. I know, because the homie whoop-de-whoop from fucking 1,000 miles away said so. Okay. You know, hey, don't believe everything you hear and definitely not everything you see because, hey, you'll be truly disappointed in life. The fact is, if it was really that serious, it was really like, you know, that individual said, you know, some things are better left in the dark, you know, especially if it's none of your fucking business. I'm just going to say that. Now, period. As content creators, we're going to talk about the hottest news. What's going on? You know, I get it all the time. Damn, Gun, you're copying this guy, or damn, Gun, this guy's copying you. Nobody is copying anybody. Everyone's giving you their different perspective and different video from a different angle on the same topic because there's only so many topics that everybody's talking about, right? So let's just clear the air on that. Nobody's copying nobody. No one's taking the initiative to go out there and try to be like someone else. No one's trying to be like me, and I ain't definitely trying to be like anyone else. The fact is, you're going to get different perspectives, and like I said, in different angles for every video. It's up to you what you decide to run with and what you decide to believe. One thing you're never going to get here is a detailed fucking course on why this guy committed a crime and what was the true meaning behind it, because I don't know, for one, and two, I ain't telling you shit. And that's just straight up, whether you like it or you don't. You know, I could sit here and I could be funny. I could do a lot of things, but one thing I'm never going to do is give up misinformation or the information that's going to put someone in the hot seat or get someone locked up or have some people aggressively looking for me based upon the information I put out there. Not going to happen. No can do. Sorry. I don't want to be involved in that. I could definitely give you my angle and perspective as far as what I think, but I can never tell you what it is. And that's just whether I know it or not. My teeth are sealed. Tas, muzzle on. You know, but this killing of Suckafree 104 has sparked even more controversy. And, you know, I heard something that fucking made my stomach, gave me rock gut, right? Made me sick to my stomach. You know, when someone passes away, someone dies, someone in the industry, in the game, it doesn't matter, anybody. You know, the defecation on their character seems to be widespread. All of a sudden, everybody wants to shit on their name. Everyone has something to say. When they're alive, no one's willing to do that. No one's willing to tell them, hey, bro, this is what I think about you, your music, or whatever. You know, and I seen an episode on No Pumper where Adam 22, right? And the only reason I don't say 16 is because I'm a man of my word, right? But Adam 22 sat down with Oparu, Whack 100. Of course, the two most controversial figures on YouTube, man, the two guys that sit there and talk about everybody's fucking business, right? Hey, I got the tapes. They know everything. And, you know, no disrespect, but I'm going to do this respectfully as I can. They had a lot to say about Suckafree 104's music after he passed. See, prior to him passing, he was never spoke about concerning them. They didn't even trip off him. They didn't even see if he farted, they didn't smell it, right? They didn't even notice him. They were too busy going in on Lefty Gunplay, too busy talking about Loose Cannon, too busy talking about on 55th, cuz Crip back, too busy talking about people's pipas. When at the end of the day, we all know, man, it's just to stir up controversy. I mean, anything that happens automatically, you know, Adam's going to get in the mix, which is what a content creator does. Can't be mad at him for that. Can't hate on him. You know, that's like being a hypocrite, sitting here and talking about something and saying they don't have the right to talk about what they want to talk about. But they always got an asinine opinion, meaning they're always making asses out of themselves. And one thing I can say for sure is you don't disrespect the dead. You don't disrespect the man when he's gone that you personally did not even know. You had no beef. There was no internal beef. You never sat down with this man and had a bad taste in your mouth. He never boned you, Adam, right? Although you probably wanted him to or do. Too late. This man never did nothing to disrespect these guys, yet these gentlemen are going to sit there and try to put a racial jacket on his music. Now, I'm here to tell you, having lived in Southern California in the Youth Authority, okay, I've seen a lot of racial tension between Southsiders and blacks. That's the truth. I've seen racial tension between Norteños and blacks, to be honest with you. And I've seen a whole lot of tension between North and South. So there was tension for everybody. We were giving out fucking scoops of tension. No, sorry, not detention, but tension, right? That means there was everybody beefing at all points and all times. Hey, you stood with your own, and that's what the fuck it was, right? You had to be ready. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. But there was a big racial divide between Southerners, Southsiders, Southside Mexicans, and the black community, right? Now, me being in Nellis, having a lot of interaction with the black community, the Crips, the Bloods, because we were North Day thugs, it was all good. You know, there was some tension sometimes, and we got into it. I fought a gang of Crips on Crip, right? But I respected them, but we handled our business. A couple Bloods, too. Shout out Bounty Hunters. Motherfucker almost knocked me out, right? We had fun. We did what we did. We were in the youth authority. We were earning stripes. We were gang banging. It was the 90s. Everyone did it. It was normal. You know what I mean? It was like going into your fucking kitchen and getting cornflakes and there was no milk. That's how normal it was if you grew up in the hood. Now, I'll say this. With that racial tension that I see between Southsiders and blacks, it was always professional. It was never personal. You know, did I probably see a few guys that didn't like black people or didn't like Mexican people just because they didn't? Maybe, but they never expressed it that way to me or in front of me. It was always more so, hey, them Vatos are the other side, they're the enemies, and that's what it was. Now, I thought it was racially motivated. You know, when you can't eat after a certain race because they're not you or this, that. I thought it was racially motivated. But again, that was the lifestyle I was living back then. The normality of it was real. It just seemed normal. Okay. Subsequently, since then, I know in Southern California, there's a lot of black and brown unity. Okay. I'm a big advocate for black and brown unity. You know, Lefty Gunplay talks about black and brown, we united, right? Goto's been saying it in Northern California way before anyone else did, right? So the black and brown movement is definitely strong. You might not see it at your doorstep, but it's happening. Slowly but surely, the two communities are coming together, and there's an understanding there that there's talent on both sides, that there's love on both sides, and that both sides share and do have beautiful cultures. That's a fact. That's the truth. You know, you can hate on anything that you want to hate, but the fact remains black and brown is stronger united, and that's facts. Now, I'll say this. This guy, a Southsider, gets killed. Dumper, Suckafree 104. And some of his music, if you listen to it, was aimed at the black community in a derogatory fashion. Not the whole black community, but the Crips specifically. Okay? And with that music right there, you have to understand he comes from a water that has long-standing beef with certain Crip gangs. Not all, but certain. You know, that's just like, it's crazy because I can sit here and tell you about black and brown unity. I got a lot of respect for the brothers and all that. But my barrio has over a 25-year to 30-year beef with the Merced Gangsta Crips. Just is what it was, right? I don't even know where the beef started, to tell you the truth. And I was all in the mix and knew all the details of things. But I don't even remember how that one started. But it's still going to this day. It didn't mean all Norteños hated black people. It just mean in that particular city at that particular time on that particular west side, right? We were definitely wiggling against each other. But we did it professionally, as professional as a gang member can, right? Now, so whatever beef that guy had with those Crips, why are they broadcasting it now, Whack 100 and Adam, and gaslighting, starting putting the fuel to the fire? After the guy he's gone. He can't speak for himself. He's dead now. Sparking controversy, trying to get fucking black and brown to beef. I've seen people say, is there going to be a race war? Or is it black and brown going to go down? Over what? Over a simple song that was played on No Jumper. They played the song so they could rile the black community up to hate Mexicans, right? And vice versa. When at the end of the day, that was that dude's own personal song targeting his personal enemies and not the whole black community. But of course, you know, and it's more so Adam than Whack. Whack is going to go with the flow. Oh, Pablo, he got his own issues right now. Talk about people's mamas. I told you, Whack. I told you, talking about people's mamas. Get you fucking hurt, right? But he has his own issues going on right now. But when it comes to Adam, Adam tries to gaslight. Adam tries to fuel the fire and stoke the flames, and then play innocent, play stupid. He's always playing stupid. I didn't know, but so word on the curb is, you know, Suckafree 104. You know that rapper? And of course, Whack acts like he don't know anybody. Nah, I don't know that dude. I don't know that dude. Oh, he's the rapper that just passed away. He got killed. I think he's from Lenox. They know exactly what they're going to talk about, where he's from, right? Whack say, oh, I think I heard something about it on Pablo. I think I heard something about it, right? oh yeah, well, did you hear his music? And then it starts. And then, of course, it goes from there to slandering the man, talking about he was racist and everything. Now, what a lot of people don't know, some dude that keep up with, the storyline of what's happening, subsequently since the guy was murdered, because people want to know who did it, why they did it, how they did it, and they'll listen to any story about him. And like I said, some are very misleading, and some of them are very, very explosive, right? You just got to watch what you believe. Anyways, there was Crips that pulled up allegedly to his memorial. There's video footage of them kicking over, Dumper's memorial, Suckafree 104's memorial, disrespecting, crossing his his hood, put a little where he passed away. They put a little memorial for him, desecrating it, disrespecting it. And those were Crips. Those were brothers, right? Again, gang shit, hood shit. But when you know something is that serious, Adam and Whack, when you know something is real on the streets, and look, Adam don't know shit because he ain't shit. Whack, Paru, brother, you know how serious it gets out there in the Southern California streets. You've been to prison, you've been to YA, homie. You know what I'm saying? We've walked that yard. You know what it is. And for you to sit there and defile that man's name and disrespect him and spark controversy, what are you getting? Clicks? Views? I mean, is it really that serious? The man is gone, man. Put some respect on his name. Whether you liked his music lyrics or not, man, I've heard a gang of brothers, man, talk bad about Mexicans too. And that's not getting highlighted. I was asked a while back on the live, hey, play Scarface from Texas, right? And I used to fuck with my mind's playing tricks on me. Ding, 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 ding. I used to fuck with Scarface, Willie D, Bushwick Bill with his one eye and all that, right? Everyone did in the 90s, man. Mind Playing Tricks on Me was on everyone's shit hitting. Until I realized and heard a song by Scarface where he's disrespecting Mexicans, calling them etbacks, right? We're gonna keep the W out of it, right? And when I heard it, I was confuzzled, right? I was like, what the fuck? I couldn't believe it. I was baffled. Why would that brother say that, man? I know the Mexicans support him. I fucked with him tough. But he said it in a harsh manner towards Mexicans, like he just didn't give a fuck, right? And I said, okay. I see where his heart's at. And I just stopped supporting his music, period. That's the way I did it. I didn't go cause controversy and kick over memorials and get crazy. I just said, you know what? All right, cool. I ain't fucking with Dudo. Now I know where his heart is. Now I know how he feels about the Mexican community. And I listened to that song over and over just to make sure that's what he said. And he said it, right? And I didn't feel disrespected to the point like he was saying it towards all Mexicans. I felt like he was saying it to a particular group that he didn't get along with. And that's the same way I feel. But still, I didn't support him. That was my choice, not to support him anymore. And still, I feel the same way about Suckafree 104. He was saying it to a particular group. It might not have came out the way that people want it. And I'm not trying to defend his actions because the racial thing is never a good thing at all. Okay, because I'm far from that. But when you have guys like Adam, who don't know shit, but thinks he knows everything, disrespected a man when he's passed and trying to spin a narrative. I mean, the guy just passed. People are still trying to figure out who killed him and why they did it and what happened, right? And the first thing that they do is get to the racial. Oh, well, have you heard his music? He didn't like blacks. He was against black. What does it have to get off the black dude's dicks already, Adam? They don't even like you, bro. If you didn't have money, they wouldn't even fuck with you. Or if your lady didn't have a fat pussy, they wouldn't fuck with her. Look, I'm just being honest with you guys right here. I just took that shit and see how this one murder right here in LA is sparking so much controversy. You got guys from Northern California doing videos that don't know what the fuck they're talking about this dude, right? You got guys that are utilizing other pictures of crime scenes that are not even tacked on with what he had going on and saying, oh, this is the crime scene. It's crazy how social media is able to manipulate the masses. I, for one, am here to tell you, man, this is not what I'm about. I'm not about dissension between black and browns and division. I'm not about running a guy's name through the mud, Suckafree, man. That was a solid individual. Now, I'll take it, man. I'm not an active gang member. I'm not part of that life. But I seen what that dude was about, and I respect his get down, and I respect that Audio Lennox because I've done time with them. Now, I seen a dude, man, that said he was from his neighborhood. He had Lennox on his chin, all tatted down. It looked like he was doing some damage control. He was talking about a certain thing. Now, I will give you guys this a little bit. I have heard a story in the past about a dude from Lennox that was all bad in prison. I mean, he went out backwards. right? Was not in good standings whatsoever. Ended up getting brought back a little bit, went out again, whatever. And I've heard his name came up a couple times involving this case, and I was like, all right. So when I hear that story about him getting taxed and this and that, I don't believe that. Not at all. Not at all, man. I think someone's just trying to, that's the feds trying to infuse that shit, trying to put a narrative out there so they can indict people. Zero. I think a lot of it stems from a certain individual that's no good. But I'm just saying, right? At the end of the day, let's not let a death like this spark controversy. Let this man's name rest. Let him rest in peace. Let his family mourn him. Let his friends mourn him. And let's keep it kosher, cool, collect, and smooth, right? You got fucking No Jumper, like I said, over there slandering his name, trying to make it a racial thing. It's crazy. Adam always does that. Always tries to spin the narrative into a racial thing. You guys don't notice already? Whack, you're black. Suckafree and the gun, we're brown, right? That dude is a good old wood, but he's not even a good wood. The woods don't want to nothing to do with them. But he's an evil devil, man, trying to fucking cause dissension between what could be the strongest connection in the game. You already know what it is. Let me know what you guys think, man. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive for what I truly believe in, man. And that's black and brown unity and showing respect to all the real ones. On Paru. Whack. Even though I don't like you, I don't like you.